Imagine a car that could run a quarter mile in just 12 seconds. That's what the Baldwin Motion Vega did. It's not any average muscle car. It is a beast that puts the definition of speed and power into the dictionary. And in today's video, we are taking a look at what made the Motion Vega the ultimate dominating force on the streets and the track. Hit that like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get started. To truly appreciate what Motion Vega was all about, one must understand the marriage that took place between the Baldwin Auto Company and Motion Performance. The Baldwin Auto Company wasn't just a Chevrolet dealership, it was the legacy of Ed Simonin and his brother-in-law, Dave Bean. Based in Baldwin, a quiet and close-knit neighborhood of New York City, the dealership has its roots back in the 1920s. Motion Performance, by contrast, was conceived as a small speed shop in Brooklyn, New York, in the late 1950s. It was born first within a Sunoco service station, but the real springboard came a few months later with the advent of the Clayton chassis dynamometer installed by Joel Rosen, then a junior partner. This would be the turning point in their business, and Rosen officially incorporated as Motion Performance Inc. in 1966, relocating the shop to Sunrise Highway in Baldwin, New York, where it remains today. The origins of Motion Performance. Motion Performance had an outstanding reputation for changing plain cars into far from ordinary muscle machines, and the Baldwin Motion Vega was no exception. They took a Vega and made a series of changes that turned this humdrum auto into something truly special. The Chevrolet Vega first entered production as an economical, small-sized vehicle in the early 1970s. It was compact, light, and low-priced. Now Joel Rosen's eyes were on the auto. Most visioned a simple, economical automobile. He was viewing the chance to make something excellent. The Vega was slightly over 2,000 pounds, so the serious power upgrade went into the perfect candidate. As was then common with low weight and small size, lots of horsepower could be added to a car that would then accelerate very fast. This potential was definitely taken seriously by Joel Rosen and his team at Motion Performance. They had realized that hardly with any changes in the engine of Vega and a few other parts, they could transform it into a robust car with performance that could even outclass the other leading muscle cars during that time. Features and design. So, what was unique about the Baldwin Motion Vega? Well, to begin with, the engine. The base vehicle was equipped with a humble four-banger engine, yet the Motion Vega held a huge V8, displacing 454 cubic inches. This is precisely what almost invariably supplies the higher-tier muscular cars, such as the Chevrolet Chevelle and Corvette. That V8 could pump out between 450 and 500 GP, depending on the specific build. That puts it into some perspective. The original Vega had only about 90 horsepower. A Motion Performance car that made all of 90 GP got converted into one that made up to 500 GP, so to speak. That enabled the car to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 4 seconds, making it one of the fastest cars of that era. In fact, Motion Performance was so confident in the car's capabilities that they provided a written assurance guaranteeing that the car would complete a quarter mile in just 12 seconds, or you would get your money back. This was a big deal, especially considering that most production cars of the time struggled to break the 15-second mark. It wasn't just about a powerful engine, though. Motion Performance made sure the car was built strong. Every engine was carefully put together using top-quality parts, and the cars were extensively tested to be able to handle the pressures of high-speed driving. Of course, all that power would be meaningless if the car couldn't handle it. A car that's quick in a straight line is one thing, but a true champion needs to work it on both the street and the strip. That's why Motion Performance didn't limit its improvements to the Vega engine. They put effort into improving its suspension and handling as well. One big part of the stability of high-performing levels the Motion Vega made it to, obviously contributed, were much heavier-duty suspension parts, including shocks, springs, and sway bars. The overall design of the Baldwin Motion Vega was one with a balance in mind between function and aesthetics. Motion Performance featured a comprehensive list of upgrades to ensure that the Vega was going to stand out. One very special feature is the custom fiberglass bonnet, complemented by a very efficient scoop that allows the engine to breathe much better. The fronts and rears were then flared to support the new wider tires in order to give the car a meaner appearance. Out of the options for the rear end was a spoiler catering to even better aerodynamics for the car. The Baldwin Motion Vega also came with a wide array of custom paint jobs and vivid graphics, making it an actual street charmer. Inside the Baldwin Motion Vega, things were as top-grade as on the outside. Not wanting to give anything less than their all, Motion Performance provided a number of possible enhancements to the interior for improved driving and exciting experiences. And although it was unquestionably speed-built, it did not in any way go against luxury features. They fitted the vehicle with custom bucket seats designed for increased support and comfort, a sporty steering wheel to obtain more control, and a full performance set of gauges for the driver so he could easily monitor what was going on, like the current speed the unit is traveling at, engine temperature and oil pressure, amongst others. The other reason why the Motion Vega was able to truly outclass all of the others is because it was very lightweight in design. Of course, this car originally was in the economy class, and it was quite lightweight. Still, Motion Performance did its best to take out all the unnecessary weight. Where it was possible, light materials where it was not. At least all the redundant interior equipment as well as a car's soundproofing went to the bin. In the end, what we had was an absolutely mighty auto that was still highly maneuverable at the same time. But most of all, it achieved a power-to-weight ratio that was quite unbelievable. The Motion Vega was able to outdo far larger and heavier muscle cars by having a lightweight chassis combined with its super powerful engine. Let's not forget that, as being underestimated is a huge advantage in street racing, this is the reason why the favorite status for this Motion Vega came to bear. The Vega was just the perfect sleeper. It is the type of car that doesn't draw much attention, but has the ability to fight down almost anything on the road. What street racers loved most was the way they could roll up to a race, let their opponent think they had the upper hand, and then blow them away once the race began. Not only that, but because it was street legal, you could cruise it to the track, race it, and then cruise it home without any problems. Cost and value of the Motion Vega. Now, let's get down to what you would need to pay for a Motion Vega. As you can likely imagine, all these performance modifications did not come free. During the early 1970s, you could get a Baldwin Motion Vega for anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000. But with the great extent of modifications and performance tweaks that are the hallmark of what Motion Performance could do, the final cost might skyrocket. It's not a value car anymore, but something that can raise a lot more money in auctions or private sales due to its rarity and historical value. In fact, Baldwin Motion Vegas today has been known to cost between $100,000 and over $200,000, depending on the condition and authenticity. However, the Motion Vega was quite another story for those who could afford it. In short, it wasn't just another car. If you had one of these, that meant business when it came to performance, and you weren't going to hesitate to fork over the dough for the cream of the crop. What this car certainly was, as were all the other Vegas cars from Motion Performance. These automobiles reached instant collectible status in a very short period of time, due in no small part to the fact that they were so limited in production. The legacy and decline of the Motion Vega. Unfortunately, the Baldwin Motion Vega would share the same fate as most other muscle cars of its era. The stricter new laws regarding emissions and higher fuel costs put high-performance cars at a significant disadvantage. As a result, Baldwin Motion scaled back business operations. This eventually led to the Motion Vega, along with other famous muscle cars, disappearing further into obscurity. Though it doesn't exist anymore as a street racer car, it lives in many people's minds to this day. Baldwin Motion Vegas are favorite item among car collectors and car buffs because its style is perceived as too aggressive for its time, which goes with innovation. If you could choose any classic muscle car to drive today, would it be the Baldwin Motion Vega, or do you have another favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you never miss out on our new videos. We'll see you in the next one. Curious about the rarest V8-powered American trucks? Discover the top 5 most elusive power wagons in this must-watch video.